In this video, I'm going to give you a very simple plan to dominate the weeds in your yard. I'm going to show you some of the weeds, and I'm going to show you 3 products that I'm planning on using basically all summer long to dominate weeds. But you can use this other times of the year as well. Let's get started right now. So here's my yard. It's been a process of plugging this sod in Bermuda, and we fertilized it, and it's starting to really shape up and look pretty decent. So I want to show you the products I've used, and this is not every product that I'll ever use on a lawn, but you can simplify things and just have a few products and get some really great results. For a yard like this, I'm going to put out a pre-emergent twice a year. I use a product called Prodiamine early in the year. I'm in Alabama, so I'm going to put it out like January or February, sometime before March. Put out my Prodiamine. That's going to help with a lot of warm season weeds, including crabgrass. And then I'm going to also put it out around September, October, before we start getting those cool nights. And I might use Prodiamine, or you can use a more expensive product called Spectacle that does a little bit better on controlling some of your cool season weeds. Now when we do that, we're typically mixing other products with that, a post-emergent of some type, some 2,4-D or something like that, to help get rid of existing weeds. Now that's doing those 2 things, that early season pre-emergent and then that fall pre-emergent is going to do a lot as far as helping your yard look good, and those are things that I do on my own lawn. But what about during the rest of the year? Let's just say in my area, again, I'm in Alabama, I understand some of you have different grass types and different climates, but if we're talking about April, May, June, July, August, September, what am I spraying on the lawn then if I have weeds in the lawn? Now yes, there's fertilizer and there's videos out there on fertilizer. If you want to do a search after this for fertilizer lawn care life on YouTube, there'll be some videos come up where we talk about fertilizer. So I'm fertilizing this yard, no doubt. But from a weed control standpoint, once we get into this later time frame, then I'm not doing a lot of pre-emergent. Now I did blanket some of my yards with Spectacle Flow in April this year, which is gonna help with some of your Kalinga and other warm season weeds. But when it gets hot, I don't do a lot of blanket treatments on the yard. So what am I doing? I'm going to show you the products, and then we're going to show you some of the weeds that these can control. So #1 product right here I recommend all the time, this is called Change Up. Now this is a 2.5 gallon jug, but you can get it in a smaller quantity. I'm going to put some links in the description if you want to go buy some of these. Change Up is not an expensive product when you consider how far it goes. So when I'm putting this in a little handheld sprayer, I use these little 2 gallon handheld sprayers or a backpack sprayer, I'm putting 0.75 ounces per gallon of water. Okay, so 3/4 of an ounce for every gallon of water, and then I add about a tablespoon of the non-ionic surfactant here. Now if I'm putting it in there and blanket spraying other times of the year, I might go to 16 ounces per acre, which is still a low rate, and I'm still going to add the surfactant at about a pint for every 100 gallons of water in a big tank sprayer. What does Change Up do? It's going to knock out just about every broadleaf weed in your yard. I'm not saying kill every one of them, but it is a fascinatingly effective product. If you've got broadleaf weeds, like in the springtime we get a lot of American birdweed, people have clover, dandelions, all kind of stuff, spurge, lespedeza, and it's labeled for all your warm season grasses, your Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, St. Augustine. St. Augustine is at the lower rate, I believe, 16 ounces per acre, and some of your cool season grasses. So you want to check the label and make sure it's labeled for your grass type before you buy it if you have cool season grass. Very effective product. I use it all the time. And again, I use it for spot treating, and I also use it for blanket spraying other times of the year. Now when I'm using Change Up, and I'm throwing in an extra product here because the idea of this is 3 products. So Change Up is one of those 3. But sometimes for spot treating purposes, you can mix it with a sedge product, so that if you're walking over your yard and you've got nut sedge or Kalinga, something like that, and broadleaves, you can just spray it all at the same time instead of having to go spray the broadleaves then go back and spray the sedges. So for sedges, a good product for Kalinga as well as nut sedge is Certainty. Now Certainty is not to be used on your cool season grasses, but there's other options for those like Pro Sedge or like Solero, or a couple other options you can use. So anyway, Product number 1, change up. What about products number 2 and 3? I'm going to talk about them sorted together. One is Certainty, I just showed you. The other is Celsius here. See here, Celsius comes with this little measuring cap. Certainty is going to come with a little measuring scoop. When you're mixing this and you read the label and it says put such and such an amount per 1,000 square feet, typically I'm going to equate that to 1 gallon of water, but I'm just going to spray lightly. So you can see here on the measuring cap for Celsius, I don't know if these numbers are going to show up for you on here. I think you can probably see them, but you see that 0.17, I believe, is the lowest line. That is the mid rate, I believe, for 2 gallons of water. So 0.085 is the mid rate. Again, double check me on this. And so if I filled that bottom line, that's going to be enough for the mid rate in 2 gallons of water. Now the 0.226, that's the high rate for 2 gallons of water. I typically go with the high rate, but then again, I'm spraying lightly. So mix at the high rate, but spray lightly, and you know, should be fine. Now, Certainty comes with a little scoop. The scoop has a small side, a large side. I put the large side in 1 gallon of water, and I'll often mix these together. And again, this is a great combination for Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, St. Augustine grasses. This is not a combination you're going to use for your cool season grasses. On those, again, you could use a product like Pro Sage for your sages and find you another post-emergent product, possibly change up on some grass types. But there's other products out there that you could use for spot treating those weeds. What I like about the Celsius and Certainty combo in the warm weather is it's one of the least likely to cause damage to the lawn when the weather is hot. So that's a great thing, and it just simplifies things. No matter what grass type for us in the south, the Bermuda, zoysia, centipede, St. Augustine, I can use it on all the grass types and just about any weed. I'm talking about grassy weed, broadleaf weed, sedges. It's going to knock out a lot of them. So I love this combination. Now, this is not something I'm going to mix up in a big spray tank and go blanket spray the whole yard in the middle of the summer. One, because it's just not, it shouldn't be necessary. I mean, you shouldn't have that many weeds if you've done your pre-emergent, and it's going to be a very costly product to use for those. You change up would be much more cost effective. Let's go take a look at some of the weeds in the yard, and we'll talk about which product is going to work best on these weeds. You've got clover in the yard. A change up is going to knock that out very effectively. Even Creeping Charlie, change up is excellent on Creeping Charlie. Now, if you get over and you got some wild violet, which has this heart-shaped leaf, change up not as good on it, and Celsius, Certainty, not either. It's a tough weed. We typically use a quinclorac product for that, like Drive Accelerate or Solitaire, something like that. Any big broadleaf weed is going to be easily controlled with change up. Get weeds like this, the nut sage, it just grows so fast. You mow the grass, and 2 days later, it's a lot of times about twice as high as the height of the grass. And so nut sage can be easily controlled with Pro Sage. I say control because it's not going to kill it, it just suppresses it. But the Certainty works great on controlling nut sage as well as the Kalinga. Because you know, you show you the difference here. This is nut sage here, most like a yellow nut sage. Compare that with Kalinga, which typically grows in more clumps. Again, when you get big old clumpy grassy weeds like Dallas grass and other grass, and I don't think that's Dallas grass, but it looks similar, they're just very difficult to control. And even earlier in the year, you might see weeds like this, like yellow wood sorrel. This one's called Field Matter. Change up wipes those out as well. Now, crabgrass like this, that's what you want to get ahead of with your pre-emergent application. But if you do get it, the Celsius Certainty combo does have some effectiveness on it, but you'd be better off using a product that has quinclorac in it for that, as well as the wild violet. Let's go take a look at some of the weeds in the yard, and we'll talk about which product is going to work best on these weeds. Even here, you got a little bit of carpet grass mixed in with Bermuda grass. The Celsius will knock out the carpet grass. It works very well on that. Get over here, and I don't know if you can see these dark green sedges here, but this is a type of Kalinga, I'm pretty sure. And again, that's a situation where the Pro Sage is not going to work as good, but that Certainty Celsius combo will do great on this. You can also use like a Dismiss product on your Kalinga. This is a broadleaf weed, looks like some cud weed. It's probably dying out soon, but change up would be great on knocking that out. Even tough summer weeds like Virginia buttonweed are great for those products. So change up works good on Virginia buttonweed. The Celsius and Certainty also works good on it, but it's a very tough weed. The point of this video is not only to show you the products, but to hopefully help you understand the principle behind the products. when to apply what product in what situation. I think some people, they just are so used to seeing some product that says weed control on the label, and just go out there and spray it on any weed with any grass type and expect it to work perfectly. So I want you to start thinking like, well, what am I actually trying to accomplish? Which weeds do I need to blanket spray the whole yard, or can I spot treat? Is this product going to kill this weed, or is it going to kill that weed? So if you start thinking like a lawn care person, so that you understand the product, what does this product actually do? Is this expensive? Am I spraying the whole yard and for really no reason, just wasting product, or is there a reason to spray the whole yard? And what I tell people all the time, I said sometimes yes, you need to watch a video like this and have somebody just tell you what to do. Okay, mix these two together, go spray the weeds. But eventually you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing so that you'll know what to do in each given situation. But I wanted this video to show you that it doesn't have to be overly complicated. You can simplify things, mix these Celsius certain together, spot treat your weeds. If you need to blanket something that's got a ton of weeds, get rid of all the broadleaves, use change up. It works great, works super fast in the warm weather, and even works in the colder weather. So understand what you're doing. If you like these kind of videos, please let me know in the comments. Also encourage you to subscribe. I've been on YouTube for a long time. There's tons of videos on here for weed control and other stuff to help you with your lawn. Also, if you want to get into weed control and fertilization like me, go to lawncarelife.com. There's the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy. There's pricing charts, things like that. There's also a link for the 2024 Lawn Care Life Conference. Excited about that. It's going to be February 23rd, 24th of 2024 near Birmingham, Alabama, in a town called Springville. Only 300 tickets available for this. Got a great lineup of speakers, so I would encourage you to sign up early if you know you're coming, and we would also appreciate that as organizers so that we can plan accordingly. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.